Namaskaram to all viewers of Jyotirmarg. Dear viewers, in the last episode of our rendering, we saw how all preparations were complete for the mammoth event of the Kuru Princes demonstrating their skill and proficiency in Dhanurveda. Now let's continue. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayed harihi Om. On the decided day, Bhishma, Krupacharya, King Dhritarashtra, Vidura, Kunti, Gandhari, and others of the Kuru royalty arrived at the stadium and occupied their seats on time. By that time, the general public and citizens of Hastinapur, as well as the citizens from neighboring kingdoms, also were seated there well in advance, and were still arriving in large groups and numbers. They all were joyfully discussing about the skill and expertise of the princes and were eagerly waiting for the great show to begin. Some of them had arrived with trumpets, drums, and other musical instruments, and all their merry talks and music, and those countless number of spectators all together, looked and sounded like a raging ocean. And the well-decorated balconies, which were designated for the guests, were all filled with kings and monarchs from the neighboring kingdoms. Then entered Dronacharya in white attire, with white-coloured beard and locks of white hair, sacred thread, and his sandals also in white. He was accompanied by his son Ashwatthama. Together, they looked like a Chandramangal yoga when a shining moon and a glowing Mangal are seen together in a clear night sky. On their entry, the official trumpets, drums, bugles, and other musical instruments were heard in high pitch, and that ocean of well-mannered spectators became silent all on a sudden, and they gave a respectful standing ovation to that great Guru of Aryavarta. When the sound of the musical instruments came to a halt, that stadium started resounding with the Mangal Sukh chantings of a large group of learned Vedic Pandits. Once the chantings and renderings were also over, the Kuru princes entered the stadium led by the eldest Prince Yudhishthira. And then at their Guru's command, they started exhibiting their skill and proficiency in different weapons. Their arrows flew among the spectators, who thought that those weapons will hit them, and they moved left and right and sometimes bent their heads down. But only after some time did they realize that it was all an illusion caused by weapons used in Maya warfare. Those princes then moved around in great speed on horsebacks and chariots and displayed their expertise in various weapons from the back of elephants also. They fought each other with weapons of their choice, and the audience stood watching them with wonder and applauding like the roar of the oceans. Then came Duryodhana and Bhima, confronting each other like two huge mountains with their heavy iron maces. When their unusually large-sized maces hit against each other, sounding like the thunder and causing sparks of fire, the spectators cheered in ecstasy. They showed their skill with swift movements, evading each other and also striking and hitting each other at the right opportunity. Sometimes they jumped into the air, and moving in the air only, they landed blows on the opponent's body with their gigantic maces. This confrontation between the Pandava prince Bhima and the Kaurava prince Duryodhana gradually lost its friendliness and soon looked like a fight-to-kill kind of combat. To add ghee to the fire, the spectators also got divided into two groups, shouting and roaring against each other. Thereupon, Guru Drona asked his son Ashwatthama to stop Bhima and Duryodhana immediately so as to avoid any casualties and also to stop the citizens from getting divided among themselves. Entering the arena, Ashwatthama stood between Bhima and Duryodhana and asked them to stop and to return to their resting place. Thereafter, when the mood and atmosphere was back to normal, Guru Drona stepped down into the center stage and said like this: "Behold, you all great men, here comes the one who is more dear to me than my own son. This is the Madhyama Pandava Arjuna, who is born of Indra and equal to Vishnu, and who has complete mastery over Dhanurveda in all its complexity and totality." Thereupon, Arjuna entered the arena with his bow and arrows and his sword. He was well-built, tall and handsome, and radiant like a celestial. Then that Pandava prince offered pranam to his guru and to all others who were present there. beholding that prince in all his charm and glory, with his name and fame already spread over the length and breadth of Aryavarta, standing up from their seats, the spectators roared in ecstasy, praising and addressing Arjun with untold happiness and delight. Yelling aloud, they said like this: "This is the great and graceful son of Kunti. This is the mighty Madhyama Pandava. This is the son of the all-powerful Devendra. This is the protector of our kingdom. This is the personification of weaponry and warfare. This is the one who is the very best and foremost in the use of all weapons. This is the one with the best of knowledge, behavior, and manners." Listening to this sudden and great uproar, the blind king Dhritarashtra asked his brother and Mahamantri Vidura, "Oh brother, what is happening? What is this celebration about? Why are they roaring like 1,000 thunders heard together?" Vidura replied that this is the welcoming and rejoicing of the citizens on seeing Arjun in front of them. Dhritarashtra replied that the Kuru kingdom is now blessed and protected. Listening to this and seeing the respect and praise being showered on her son, tears of joy rolled down from Kunti's eyes. Thereafter, with the permission of his guru, in front of that huge assembly of citizens and kings and monarchs, Arjun unleashed the mysteries and miracles of Dhanurveda. By using the Agneya missile, Arjun made a fire. With the Varuna missile, he made torrents of water. With the Vayavya missile, Arjun brought in strong and stormy winds. With the Parjanya weapon, he made clouds, rain and thunder. With the Parvadastra, Arjun created mountains. With the Bhaumastra, he created huge mass of land, and with the Andardhana weapon, he disappeared and went inside that land and then reappeared from that land. With the same weapon, he also made everything created by him so far to disappear also. In the split of a second, Arjun became very tall and then very short also. He was seen on the ground and on the front of the chariot and on the rear side of the chariot all at the same time. Arjun then sent with perfection 5 arrows into the open mouth of an animal made of wood and turning around on a wheel. Thereafter, he shot 21 arrows into the hollow end of a cow's horn hanging down in the air at the lower end of a swinging rope. Also, Arjun's arrows pierced several targets placed at very long distance without missing even a single time. The crowd went into a frenzy of excitement watching Arjun's feats of extraordinary skills and proficiency and praised him and worshipped him for what they saw there in front of their own eyes. With this, the demonstration of skill by the Kuru Princes came to an end. Thereupon, Guru Drona stood on the stage surrounded by the 5 Pandava princes like the moon in Kanya Rashi in the 5-star constellation of Hasta Nakshatra. On the other side stood Duryodhana with his heavy mace in his hand along with his 99 brothers also with their weapons and with Guru Drona's son Ashwatthama. Duryodhana, surrounded by his brothers and Ashwatthama, stood there shining like Indra in the midst of other devas while they were fighting with the Danavas in the past. At this point of time, an uproar and commotion were heard from the side of the main entrance gate of the stadium, listening to which all faces were turned in that direction. Then they saw a tall and well-built youth like a golden palm tree or a mountain cliff shining like gold in the rays of the rising sun. Shining like the morning sun, all those people felt like another sun rising at the entrance gate. He was equipped with bow and arrows and his sword. His golden ear ornaments and golden armor were a part of his body. Looking like a celestial who has landed on this earth, he walked forward with firm and solid steps, striding like a lion. And the bright sun overlooking him bathed him in its golden rays, making him to look like another sun. Dear viewers, here ends this chapter of our rendering of Rishi Vedavyasa's timeless epic Mahabharata. Hari Om.